Hello and welcome to a video that's going to walk you through these practice exercises. Just basically a bit of a review. You should be trying these out yourself and not simply watching these videos. Do yourself a favor, if you haven't tried these out yet, using your notes and what we've covered in class and PowerPoint presentations, I would suggest you stop this video, go and try this first, and then see how you did compared to this solution video. Or simply watch this and then try it yourself and then come back and review the solution. Don't let this be your ultimate guide. You should be able to do this on your own without this video. So let's start with the bottom up question. I believe the file opens on break even F&B. Let's start with bottom up. You run a 100-room hotel that would like to achieve a net income after tax of $275,000 next year. Your variable cost percentage is forecasted to be 41%, and the hotel has fixed expenses of $420,000. Operating income is taxed at a rate of 32%. So what revenue does your hotel have to make in order to achieve the net income? And I think this is going to say net income. There you go, after tax goal. Okay, so we're basically trying to do the bottom up here. Okay? So what do we need for bottom up? We need our income after tax. We can start to go from the bottom up. We're going to have our tax, we're going to have our income before tax, our fixed costs, our variable costs, and the required revenue. Okay, so right away we should just be able to go ahead and build that. So what's our income after tax? Well, that's our goal right here that we've set for ourselves. So $275,000. I think that was one too many zeros. Okay, and I'll get rid of some decimals. So tax is how much? If we look at this example, tax at a rate of 32%. There you go. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to, with this information, find out what income before tax is. If you remember, income before tax, that's your operating income, equals your income after tax, which is your net income, divided by whatever 1 minus the tax rate is. So in this case, we would go $275,000, which is our net income goal, divided by 1 minus 0.32, which is our tax rate. So we're basically saying this is 68% of this number. Okay, so that's what we're saying. So again, so $404,412, and then let's do our math the other way around. So $404,412 times the 0.32, which is our taxes. So that's how much our taxes should be. And if we've done this properly, and we always just check on the right hand side, 404,412 minus our taxes. If we've done this properly, we should have the same number, which we do. Okay. We don't need to keep these around. It's more just to make sure that you've done this properly. Now, fixed costs. We have our fixed expenses of $420,000. And now, we don't have a variable cost yet, but we do have a variable cost percentage at 41%. So, our required revenue, the calculation for that is going to be our, in brackets, income tax plus fixed costs. Whatever the answer to these two combined is, we're dividing it by whatever 1 minus the variable cost percentage equals. So we'd open up our brackets and go our income before tax, our operating income, plus our fixed costs. Okay, close the brackets, and we divide it by whatever 1 minus, and variable expenses are forecast to be 41%, so 0.41. Again, what this means is our income before tax, our operating income, and our fixed costs are whatever is left over after variable cost percentage. So in this case, it would be 59% of required revenue. And there you go. So the way to read this is I need to make $1,397,308 in revenue in order to achieve $275,000 in net income. Okay, so that's the way we read it. And then we would just simply finish this off again. So we would take our required revenue and multiply it by our variable cost, which is 41%. And then always just check that we did this properly. So if we did this properly, we should be able to go our revenues, required revenues, minus our variable costs, minus our fixed costs, and we should hopefully have the same income before tax, and we do. So this is all good news. Now, hotel is forecasting an occupancy of 62% for the year. What rate will the hotel have to achieve in order to attain the required revenue? Well, so first we need to figure out how many room nights this means for an entire year. Now, how many rooms do we have? We have 100 rooms. So 100 rooms. And we're going to multiply that by the 62% that we think we're going to achieve for the year. And then this is just for one day. So 100 rooms times 62% only tells me how many rooms I'm going to sell on one day. I want to know for the year, so I'm going to multiply it by 365 days, right? So I should be able to go 100 times 0.62 times 365 days. So I'm probably going to sell, I'm forecasted to sell, forecasted occupied room nights, okay? 22,630 room nights. So that's only part of the question, okay? Because we needed to find out our forecasted occupied room nights before we could even get to finding out what rate we need. So now we need to divide our required revenue, so 397,308, okay, which is our required revenue, and we need to divide that by how many forecasted occupied room nights we're going to have. We're forecasting to have. Okay, and that's going to be able to give us our rate. So it would be our $1,397,308 divided by the number of forecasted room nights. And then if I change that into dollars, I need a rate of $61.75 if I'm going to sell 62% of these rooms for the whole year. And if I do that, then I'm going to achieve my required revenue that will then help me achieve my net income goal. Okay? So that would be what I was looking for here. That was the answer that I was needing right there. Now this was the one that we talked about in class. It's a bit more algebra, right? So your hotel's room mix breakdown is typically 45% king rooms and 55% queen rooms, and your king rooms sell for $10 more. What is the required revenue per room type needed to achieve the total required revenue? So our first step is going to be to break down the rooms into how many room nights I'm going to sell for different types of rooms. So in this case, I can go 45% are going to be king rooms. And let's see if maybe it'll be bigger here. I'll make this a bit bigger, sorry. So 45% are going to be king rooms. And I'm going to use that with my 22,630 forecasted occupied room nights. Because really what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find out of these forecasted occupied room nights, how many of them are probably going to be king rooms. Okay? And then whatever's left over, so 55% queen rooms times, again, the 22,630 forecasted occupied room nights. Okay? So all I'm doing is, of these forecasted occupied room nights, the 22,630 overall, I'm saying normally 45% are king rooms and 55% are queen rooms. So I want to know what the breakdown will likely be. Okay, so 0.45 times 22,630. Okay, so I'm just going to make this slightly bigger. And then I would do the same, 0.55 times 22,630. Now you'll notice sorry, we'll get rid of that. When we round up, which we should, okay, if we add these two together, 10,184 plus 12,447, we should be getting the same number as 22,630. We don't, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Basically, we're just going to calculate using these numbers because that's typically the breakdown. And 22,630 forecasted room nights, it's not going to change too much. We will have a different number at the end, but only slightly. Okay. So now this is where I'll start to write out some stuff. Excuse me. So we are solving for X when we do this calculation. What is X? X is going to be our queen room average daily rate. Okay. So really, we're trying to find out that for our $1,397,308, I'm going to be selling 12,447 rooms times X. Okay, so that's going to be my forecasted queen rooms, okay, times the price that I'm going to be able to, that I need to charge for those rooms. Now, the reason why we're starting with queen is because we add $10 more to king. So we need to first find our queen room ADR, and then once we know what X is, we can just add $10 to find out what my king rooms sell for. Okay. So of this required revenue, okay, and these forecasted occupied room nights, 12,447 rooms are going to be queen rooms times a certain ADR. I don't know that ADR yet. And then I'm also going to have to sell 10,184 rooms. Okay. And that's going to be the queen room plus the $10 more. Okay. So if we break it down again, this is my required revenue that I need to make in order to reach my net income goal. To do that, using this breakdown, I have to sell 12,447 rooms. I don't know at which rate. Okay. And I also, so that's where we're adding, need to sell 10,184 king rooms. And I need to multiply that by the queen room ADR plus $10 because that's how much I typically sell more, okay, for my king rooms for compared to queen rooms. So now let's use algebra. So the first step is we can copy this over. We're going to concentrate on just this portion of this equation. Okay. We can't do much about this one yet. We can't do anything over here. So let's first multiply this number into these brackets, whatever's in this bracket. So I need to first multiply 10,000, well, let's start by first writing out the first part here, plus, now, I'm going to concentrate on multiplying 10,184 times just X here. Okay. So what does that equal? 10,184 times X is what it equals. Okay. And then I'm going to add whatever 10,184 times 10 equals. So in this case, it should be $101,840. And all I did is I went 10,184 times X first, and that's where I got this from. And then I went 10,184 times 10, and that's where I got this information from. Okay. So now that I have this done, there's two things I can do here. Okay. I can start to first get this number over to this side of the equation. So if I have a plus here, I need to minus it in order to get rid of it on this side, but it means I have to do it on this side as well. Okay. So I need to subtract it, not minus it. So I need to go $1,397,308 minus $101,840 equals. Now at the same time, to save myself some time, I'm also going to be adding these two together. And that's because I'm going 12,447 times X plus 10,184 times X. They're both being multiplied by X. So we can just simply add these two numbers together and still multiply them by X. So if we were to do that, we'd get 22,631 times X. Okay. So if I were to calculate just for this, I would get $1,295,468 equals 22,631 times X. And now I need to get this number over to here. So remember, we can isolate the X. So if I'm multiplying it by X here, I need to divide by 22,631. Okay. So I need to go 1,295,468 divided by 22,631, and that's going to equals X. Okay. And then if I do that again, I'm going to get $57.24 equals X. So let's use that information. Now X, remember, was our queen room ADR. So we can write queen room ADR. And we can write $57.24. And we'll make that bigger. Sorry. Okay, and then we're going to go our king room ADR, which is really our queen ADR plus $10. Okay. So we're just going to go our 57.24 plus 10. And we'll just do this. So the last thing we can do is always check our work. Okay, so our queen room revenue, which is going to be our ADR times our forecasted occupied room nights. And we can find out our king room rev, which is really our ADR for king rooms, again, times forecasted occupied room nights for that room type. So if we do that, I'm suggesting I'm going to have $57.24 in ADR. That's what I need to have in order to reach my required room nights. And I'm going to multiply it by the 12,447 room nights that I believe I'm going to sell in Queens. And I'm going to do the same for king rooms. So it's going to be $67.24, which is my required ADR. And I'm going to multiply it by how many room nights I believe I'm going to sell just for king rooms. Okay. So if I do that, I'll get rid of some decimals, and then I add them together. $446 plus $684, $722. I should get a number that's very close to my original required route. So $1,397,308. So I'm off by about less than $200, $150 basically exactly. So that would be just that one room night difference, but that's okay. We'd rather keep it in there and have these numbers. So your hotel's room mix breakdown is this. What is the required revenue per room type? So really, the question was asking for this, because this is how much revenue we need to make for each room type. Not the average daily rate, that wasn't the question. Take your time with the questions. So that's a video for your bottom-up question. There will be another one for your break-even hotel question, and then another one for the break-even food and beverage.